Hi, this is Carolyn, and I'm here tonight with Michelle and Erin. And Michelle actually came up with this topic, which is why hydration is important. I know I'm not very good at drinking a lot of fluids and staying hydrated, but Michelle, why is hydration important?
Well, it's funny how this came up kind of organically at the cardiologist for one of my children was having some syncope, like a couple passing out episodes, and he is determined to be really sensitive to hydration levels. So we just had this whole conversation about staying hydrated as an athlete of any sort and how important it is not only to your health, but to your performance in whatever sport it is. So this particular cardiologist, he's a pediatric cardiologist, but he also works with some of the top basketball sports in our area. And he was saying that that is the biggest difference between the team's performance is how well hydrated they are. I thought it was completely interesting. And I have actually no information or research to back up what he said. He just told me this. So I was like, Bible sounds right.
We don't claim to be experts on this podcast.
Yes.
The great thing about the podcast. It's just our
we are not experts.
We're mom tennis
really
players.
not. Yeah. I would
But
claim
Michelle
to be an
is a
expert.
nurse. Michelle is a nurse. So.
Yeah.
Kind of. No, I'm just kidding. I am a nurse, but I thought that was really interesting. The other, just as a side note, was talking about stretching. I mean, stretching and hydration and how important, but I never saw it linked to actual performance. We are always talking about trying to not be injured. That was the other thing he mentioned too, is its importance to maintaining health in terms of not being injured, muscle tears, healing from concussions. This was another thing that came up in youth athletics, that after a concussion, it's so important to rehydrate. I don't think about it that way. I think that was really interesting. You wouldn't think there'd be any link to that, but it's really important. So by the time you're sweating and cramping, you are way dehydrated.
Oh, that's a good point. That's a good point.
I did find some recommendations about how much to drink before, during, and after, which I thought was kind of interesting. And it was saying, you should be thinking about your hydration 2 to 3 hours before you're going to be exerting yourself, which is crazy to me because, as we've talked in other podcasts, I am not the most pulled together when it comes to getting my equipment. I'm like, racket, check. Shoes, check. Like, I might have a water bottle.
I was going to say, she shows up with her racket and her flip-flops.
Yeah.
And then carries her tennies onto the court.
Yeah. Do you have anybody have any socks or whatever?
Right.
So,
I was just saying, maybe missing socks.
This is one of those do as I say, not as I do. But before exertion, it's saying 2 to 3 hours, you should have about a bottle of water, like 16 ounces or so. And then right before, you should try to drink about half that, which, I mean, that sounds like a ton of water. That's probably as much as I drink the entire time I'm playing.
Right.
And then this little printout that I found says, and it's from like a dietitian website, that during exertion, you should have about 4 ounces of fluid every 15 to 20 minutes. And they break that down for 2 to 3 gulps of water. If you're, and I'm assuming, let's see if it says anywhere on here, tennis can be fairly exerting. I mean, like, it's not really I think especially at the 3540 level, you're working pretty hard if you're, not me today. I had a match today. I did not work I did not need my whole hydration thing.
Well, it's getting hotter here too. So we do need to think about it. We need to think about it always, but it was 80 degrees today. Yeah. And it was like 50 2 weeks ago. So
Right. And then after exertion, it's saying, again, about a bottle of water for every pound that you lost. I don't really know how to measure that. I don't think people really, and women would probably be like, yay, I lost 5 pounds. I'm not going to replace that. But of course, the post-hydration is part of it too.
You know what? I drink 2 to 3 hours before a tennis match.
Coffee.
2 big old cups of coffee.
Yes, I was going to say coffee.
But it has water in it, right?
Yeah, but the caffeine might.
I know.
Caffeine is the old rule of thumb, and I don't even know if it's true, but when I was in nursing school, it was you should drink a cup, and say you have 8 ounces of anything caffeinated, you should replace that with 8 ounces and another 4 ounces. So it's like 1.5 times.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, just to offset.
So I would have to drink. So if I happen to drink 16 ounces of coffee, maybe I drink. What's a venti? Is that like 16 ounces?
Probably 8, 12, and 16.
So look at Carolyn's like, I'd have to drink.
It could be 20. I don't know.
Okay, so I'd have to drink basically 40.
Like a ton of water.
50 ounces of water before I even play. And then I have to drink 4 ounces every 4 minutes. I don't know. What's the 4 gulps?
You need
basically every changeover.
You would be in a pamper. You would need a diaper.
I was going to say. So this goes to Carolyn. I have 2 things to say, and I guess questions for Carolyn. Number 1, Carolyn would worry about where is the bathroom.
Yes, I always need to know where the bathroom.
She will not play a match unless there's a bathroom nearby.
That's right.
That sounds natural. Yeah.
Right.
And at States, I mean, when they tell you, like they call you up and you have to go at that moment. So you have to go to the bathroom before you turn in the card. I'm always like, I go to the bathroom like 5 times.
Yeah. Well, that's nervousness too.
Nervous bladder.
I do that at States too, for sure. Even when I don't have to go to the bathroom, I'm like, I have to go to the bathroom. Yeah. Speaking of States, Carolyn, what about that lady? I was already gone, but when our team went to States a couple years ago, there was an incident with like more than a few people I heard, but there was one like big one that happened when you guys were getting there.
This was spring States. It was really hot where we're located, and we were walking up to courts, and this woman was just screaming. I mean, screaming in pain. And the ambulance had been called, and we have someone on our team that's a doctor, and she was walking up. And I think what happened is that she got dehydrated. And I don't know why then it caused her to scream in pain or how that all plays out. But I remember I was over there chugging Gatorade because I was so scared that that would happen to me, because I know I'm not very good about drinking a ton of water. And then I like at States, for example, I drink Gatorade, but after you have like one Gatorade in a day, I can't drink another Gatorade after that.
So I can't. It sloshes around.
Yeah. I think for me, it's the sugar. Like it upsets my stomach. So I found like some tablets that I can put in my water. That's just
what are they?
I think they're the Noom tablets, right, Michelle?
Okay. Yeah.
And I keep them more in the summer, and having this conversation with you too makes me realize that you don't just sweat in the summer. We should be doing it all year, but especially we think about it when it's really hot here, which are many, many months out of the year that we play in our area. But I keep tablets in my tennis bag, and then I can just break them in half and stick them in my water. And those don't upset my stomach. There's not a lot of sugar to them. They're just electrolyte tablets. But that was the other funny thing I was going to say about you, Carolyn. This isn't really a question, but it often comes up on our podcast about the Carolyn cooler. So I know that you bring lots of
trademark.
Yeah, Carolyn cooler. Well, we need to have some like swag or something.
I know, right?
Giveaway coolers.
It's big.
But you do keep, especially, I know, like I've played enough with you that when we're playing matches in the hot weather, you bring a full cooler with stuff in it. Is that because you don't drink enough during the day, and so you're
probably? I mean, I have like
nervous
a cool
that you're
towel. I have a bottle full of I guess it's Zip Fizz is the name.
Oh yeah,
two 4-0s that have been playing at 4-0 for a very long time. Yeah. I asked them about it, and they use Zip Fizz, and then I think it was like some hydration IV drink the day before that they told me I should drink. Yes, that they told me I should drink. Although that messes up my stomach a little bit too. I think I'm very sensitive to a lot of things.
That one I've never tried, but that Zip Fizz, I've seen our friend put it in her drink, and that bubbles over like a science experiment.
Yeah, I like it. I actually like that.
That one makes me a little nervous too. But if it works for you and it gets you to drink water, then I don't think it's all that bad.
And then I also bring like a Coke, which probably does not help at all.
But that's for your caffeine. That's for your alertness. That's not for your
when
hydration.
I'm in a lot of trouble. If you see me chugging a Coke, it's bad. It's going very badly.
But that's to keep you like awake.
Yes.
But pros have, not like we're Serena Williams or anything, but she has literally asked for a shot of espresso or a cup of coffee during a match. And they brought it to the court for her.
That sounds reasonable.
Yeah, so I'm basically like Serena Williams.
You're basically Serena.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
What do you drink, Michelle?
I know on the water aisle, there are these little Neo drops, and that's a nice way. Like you can just squirt it in. It looks like food coloring, like you're going to dye Easter eggs, but you squirt it into your water and it's flavored, but it's not chemically tasting. Like some of those things taste And it doesn't have sugar or calories or anything.
That's another one Carolyn needs to try.
Is it electrolytes?
It is.
It is.
You can get all kinds. It's a great way to replace the electrolytes too, which of course, besides the water, you need if you're, and again, my little article was so helpful. It said if you're, a real salty sweater, and I think different times of the year, you notice like you get that salt on your skin when you're done after a really long match, that you replace it, make sure you replace it with things that do have electrolytes, like even fruit. So fruit has a lot of water and that can help with your hydration too. It's not like you have to just guzzle water. I mean, you can get a lot of it from
other sources.
Fruits and vegetables have a lot of water. So
do you remember that?
Also help.
Do you remember the episode we did with what's in your tennis bag just recently?
Yes.
And one of mine was salt tablets and we laughed really hard. But that's why, because we were going to
and
States.
Here we are, eating
and here we are.
pro.
See? Like 4 episodes later, we're like, hydration is so important.
They mentioned too, obviously, if you're dehydrated, you can cramp. That's the one that you think of most likely. But it also can make you super fatigued, which is not what you want anytime. It can make you lightheaded, nauseous. It can get your core temperature up. It can increase your heart rate being dehydrated. And as you age, these things are much more prominent. I mean, like you have it's much harder to recover from them, and they can be really detrimental. Like, you can lose your balance and fall. You can break something, it's a big deal. So it's important. Drink your water, get your hydration, replace your electrolytes, plan ahead, really try to, especially in the summer months, maybe just make a note that I'm going to get myself up at least 2 hours, give myself some time to get hydrated before a hot.
Or anyone that plays tournaments, if they know they're going to do multiple matches in a day, not just at states like we do, but like a lot of people around the country just sign up to play tournaments. And so those are days that to start hydrating a few days before, and then also like that morning.
Right.
We
just have to change our mindset a little bit about how we prep for tennis in terms of hydration. Maybe it's as important as stretching. And we probably didn't think that.
Yeah, that's really great. And I know every time I've been to states, I've gotten dehydrated, at least a little bit. I can tell it. I'm always
multiple matches.
Because you're playing 6 matches in really hot weather in 3 days. So that's really interesting.
A friend and teammate of ours who doesn't play quite as much anymore, but has 3 daughters, it made me think of how do you know if you're dehydrated, if you're not having symptoms like that. I mean, you can always look at the pee, you can always look at your urine and know if the color's not pale, you're dehydrated. But with her girls, this friend I'm talking about, she would, whenever her girls would call from college with a complaint, she would be like, "How's your pee look? Have you looked? Are you drinking enough water?" I mean, that's like her go-to. Let's just
question.
Start there.
That's funny.
And then we'll, like what would House do? Remember that medical show where it's like, let me get to the bottom of this. Start with the hydration, and then, maybe everything will fall into place from there.
Thanks very much to Michelle and Erin for discussing this. Again, we are tennis moms. We are not experts, but I thought everything that Michelle mentioned was really interesting, and I will definitely be checking my pee. We hope you'll check out our website, which is secondservepodcast.com. Thanks so much for listening, and hope to see you on the courts soon.